Hey everybody. Whipped up a medicinal cocktail to see if I could be asymptomatic long enough for me to flick some snibs. Like, I couldn't leave well enough alone. That's probably the guy right there. Lois Lane wants me to ambush him by letting her in the window. I'm Old Man Sugarheart, by the way. This is Sovereign Syndicate. Perhaps the client in this room is Dr. Wainwright. Aside from that blindfold, he looks dressed like a physician. But I can't confirm without speaking to him directly. It mightn't be worth the risk. I'd better just mark the window before he catches me here. He looks like a Dr. Wainwright. Can I get into any other doors? I can't. So I'm just going to assume that's Dr. Wainwright. We're going to let Lois in here. I must assume that our client here is Dr. Wainwright, but of course I wouldn't know for sure without speaking to him. It's taking too long and I should just mark the window and be off. Don't forget to leave it cracked so Ivana can climb inside. Mark the window and leave it open. This character has gained the secretive trait and will now be able to select dialogue options that require this trait. That'll do nicely. I mean, all the other doors were locked. Alright, we talked to her. Where's Madame Zora? Clicked on a flask and flew all the way over here. We always keep a flask of laudanum on handle for dollies who have trouble sleeping. The way the last few days have gone, I might need it. Hall of Fame. Here's where all the dollies leave notes to each other. Notes about the Johns. Here it says, Felipe is a Spaniard and a chatterbox who works as a fishmonger at the wharf. He unfortunately comes straight here after work. Ugh. Lou describes Mr. Sykes as strong but gentle. There's a caution about some character calling himself Sucker Jones. He gets a bit rough at times and Zora even had to throw him out. But he splashes enough tin around that she let him back in. Sounds like bollocks to me. More about Sykes. Never fusses about payment, treats you like a sister. More like a sister than a trick, except for the actual transaction, of course. Sykes wins for popularity. It's a wonder the girls don't brawl over who gets him for the night. Wonder what else the girls have been saying lately. Me too. I love gossip. Dr. Wainwright, fussy and specific client. Good time when you get it right. Let's read more. Avoid Mr. Daly when he's in his cups. Alright. Sykes, misplaced watch. Reward to the dolly that finds it. Haven't seen Sorry in sometimes. Perhaps she's seeing someone. That Frenchman sneaks you brandy, wine, or Sobernies tonight, Lou. I want a cut. Else I'll complain to Madame Zora. Felipe, go fetch Ariana if she isn't already tending to him. Ooh, Ariana. I wonder if that's Felipe's girl. Let's see. Riley Jones, polite, kind, pays well, highly recommended. Oh, Teller, sweet fellow, but don't bring up cider with him. That'll make him want to talk unendingly about it. Nigel Poppycott, ego. Ego bruised easily. Incredibly high maintenance. S. Fisher, easily distracted by poetical recitation of Sappho or similar. I feel like this is all really good information. P. Nolan came in and asked for the weird stuff, but refused to clarify, responding, you know, and winking when asked. Left without services performed. Yep. I know. V. Phillips, skittish thing, but quite the cuddler. However, kisses like a dead fish. Needs work. M. Sabah. Not into the physical stuff, still knows how to touch a woman's soul with his wittiness. P. Stark, unconventional taste, but very sweet. Theodore Firebird mostly wants to talk about conspiracy theories, just nod and look impressed. He might give a good tip. There's nothing else on the board. I've wasted enough time here as it is, but now I know everything. Scratches dot the desktop. We need to reflect after a night's work. I'll write a letter home. Clean, functional furniture. Zora might not splurge on pieces for the back of the house, but she at least recognizes that keeping her girls happy is good for business. And someone left an old lace in here. Take it. A bottle of old lace. Old lace perfume added to inventory. Waste not, want not. Oh, and here's Madame Zora. It's gotten cold. Madame Zora didn't finish her morning cup of Earl Grey. Oh, she's gonna be grumpy. Here's Madame Zora. It appears she was lost in thought, perusing the titles in her small office library. Her grim aesthetic belies a fiercely protective heart. She is a shrewd and a strict shiprunner. Clara! At last, a semi-competent face. At current moment, she seems intensely tired. Something I can help with? It's rather kind, but I gather what you mean is that my competence might be of immediate service. Her eyes speak of someone who hasn't slept well in days. Madame Zora has a history of handling stress quite well. What could have wormed its way beneath that stoic exterior? Could you see your way to getting one of our esteemed colleagues out of bind? Someone has once again disobeyed the house rules for the sake of lining her pocketbook. Pray tell, which of our ladies is in trouble? As you no doubt gathered, it's Beatrix, Velvet Rose's shining star and resident diva. Per Mr. Sykes' request, she failed to tie a ribbon around the sheep to make use of a condom, and has requested some pills to balance her menses after last night's encounter. If you take my meaning, it's always Beatrix. Flouting rules again? Well, still more tolerable than the time she indulged that pushy gent with a formicophilia, having a sexual interest in having small animals, insects, or snails crawling over one's body without telling us. To each their own, but Christ above, it was hard to get rid of those ants. Yes, indeed it was. Even Madame Zora looks unnerved at the reminder. I get it, formic, yeah, because ants are filled with formic acid. Even so, alright. I assume the usual place will suffice. Gray's apothecary should have what Beatrix wants. Indeed, here's a chemist's note, and if you're feeling particularly generous, she's also requested a delivery of Nandy's peanut candy. I might see my way to helping out a friend. Isn't your responsibility, but I would be thankful for it. You've quite the evening ahead of us. Popular as our co-worker is, she's the diva through and through. And it might be prudent to ensure she's in high spirits. If it'll keep her content for the evening, then perhaps it's worth a detour. Indeed. Whatever you choose is fine with me. Oh, and be a dear and pick me up a box of sweets from Pavel Gerard. He'll be at his pinfold in Soros Square. What candies do you mean? Oh, the French ones. I don't remember the name. I acquired quite the sweet tooth when I lived across the channel. Pavel knows what I want, and don't worry about the money. I'll pay him when I do my shopping. Very well. I'll fetch your candies too if I have time. Now then, you look like you have something on your mind. Anything else you want to talk about? Best not to make mention of my travel plans. This evening will run smoother if I keep myself in her good graces, and I haven't yet a read on what her reaction might be. Let's ask about the courtesan killer. What do you think about this courtesan killer business? You have a sharp mind, and you've been in the trade longer than I. Vile business that, though hardly unprecedented. Devana knows there are plenty animals in this city that try to prey on us now and again. You needn't remind me, and it always, as always, it falls to us to close our ranks and protect our own. Hey Jessica, how are you doing? That it does. I'll not forgive what was done to poor Hannah anytime soon. I recall Hannah Lind only dimly, though her absence is keenly felt by the workers who have been here the longest. Those she once worked beside. She was clever, curious, and often had a kind word to spare for a girl down on her luck. Miss Reed, may I speak to you in confidence? In confidence? Unlikely skill check. Of course. I've seen marks like this in my days. Before I came to London, brutal killings such as those that haunt us now. Perhaps we're not looking at the work of a person, Miss Reed, but that of a werewolf. It would be easy to blame the werewolves, given the state of the bodies, but we must not allow our prejudice to inform our actions. As you say. Take your leave. I should get a move on. I'll be back with Beatrix's medicine in 2 ticks. See to it you are. Plenty left to do before the performance tonight, and Miss Reed, I needn't tell you, but all the same, don't let the bobbies stop you once you have the medicine in hand. Wouldn't dream of it, Madame Zora. I turned to make my way only for Zora to abruptly stop me with a tense hand on my shoulder. Take heed, my dear. Once you have the medicine, come straight here. Legal or not, those pills are more than enough probable cause for the coppers to apprehend a woman such as you. I'll be back soon with the medication for Beatrix. Be sure to take care. Dang. Am I gonna have to shoot a policeman today? I didn't bring my AK with me. Oh. There's Beatrix. How's it going? Surprise morning stream? Yeah. Well, it's a little bonus stream. I was sick yesterday and my voice wasn't up to it. And I've had a medicinal cocktail. Maybe I can stay asymptomatic long enough to sneak out a quick playthrough. But yeah, going pretty well. That, and I'm really curious how things are going to go. And I just need to see the end of chapter 2, then I'll be happy. Before me stands Beatrix Aguirre. Madame Zora tracks her most profitable girl each month, and Beatrix and I are often neck and neck. I've never been one to puff my feathers over how many Johns I tuff a month. But there's nothing wrong with some friendly competition. Zora said she would send someone trustworthy to fetch my pills. Going off that sour look on your face, I assume she picked you. Indeed. Someone's got to be reliable around here, I suppose. Right, then. Fetch away, or did you need a moment of my time? Tell her a rumor about her shoes. Or mention Sykes' outburst, or just say goodbye. Sure, I've got... My intellect's been raising. I might actually have enough to carry me through this. Would you like to hear the latest rumors surrounding you and your shoes? I'm a wretched woman for reveling in her furious yet conflicted glare. I haven't heard any rumors. I have. Well, most of us are used to your quirks by now, but it seemed that Prudence isn't. She claims she witnessed you using the communal bathtub in the usual way, save for still wearing your boots. Prudence is a half-blind half-wit, and I'm lady enough to know it's quite rude to indulge in rumors, but it appears the same cannot be said for you. You never seem to take off your shoes. Do you even go to bed without them? I'm gonna be catty. Hey, Ice Rose, how are you doing? She shoots me a terse look while defensively crossing her arms. This conversation is over whether I like it or not. Oh, you and your stinky boots, Beatrix. All right. I feel like I need to discover more about Felipe's romance while I'm here, but... Doing okay, pretty tired. Gonna be lurking as I'm doing some things. Well, this is a good stream to lurk to. Should mostly be me reading. Shall I see what the wild world of London has to offer? Yep. Daylight's wasted, and I need to fetch those pills for Beatrix. Oh, that was the end of chapter 2? Man, I should have finished this morning. Chapter 3.